Alright, so in the interest of mixing things up a bit here, we're gonna try something a little different today. I really enjoy those 5 or 10 minute videos of useless information that have been cropping up the last year or two about different topics, and so today we're going to be doing 10-ish minutes of useless information, also known as trivia, about Kings Island. My guess is that the closer you are to the park, and to a certain extent the older you are, the more of this stuff you'll already know, but I'm curious to find out how much of this was new information to you, so be sure you let me know in the comment section down below. I would be shocked if many of you knew all of this stuff. Hi there, by the way, KI Coaster Guy here, and before we get into the video, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Ended up hitting that milestone a couple days back, and I cannot even tell you how much I appreciate it. I really enjoy making these videos, but they can be pretty time consuming. So to read all your comments and see that someone is enjoying this stuff means a whole lot to me. As cringy as that probably sounds. And all I can say is I will do my level best to keep providing you with stuff you want to watch. And once again, if you have any ideas for something you'd like to see on the channel, let me know in the comment section, and I might just end up doing it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. When the park's 1/3 scale replica of the Eiffel Tower was painted in 1971, prior to the park opening the following year, it took 1,000 gallons of paint to cover it. When the weather is clear, you can see up to 18 miles out from its observation deck. When John C. Allen, famed roller coaster designer and vice president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company at the time, declined a request from Gary Wachs, the Coney Island executive perhaps most responsible for making Kings Island a reality, to design the racer, Gary and his father went to meet him at a Chicago amusement industry trade show and plied him with martinis until he agreed. John C. Allen also designed Woodstock Express, or Scooby-Doo as it was known then, and would later go on to design Rebel Yell at Kings Island's sister park, Kings Dominion. The International Street Fountain is 320 feet long, more than the length of a football field, and holds 500,000 gallons of water and shoots more than 10,000 gallons a minute through its nozzles. Actor and comedian Dick Van Dyke became Kings Island's celebrity spokesperson in 1977, and in '78 starred in commercials for Kings Dominion, which were actually filmed in part at Kings Island, including this clip of him taking a ride on Kings Mill's log flume. Lots of people are aware that Kings Island was heavily featured in the 1973 Brady Bunch episode The Cincinnati Kids, but the park was also featured in the 1972 Partridge Family episode I Left My Heart in Cincinnati, and the 1988 film Fresh Horses, starring Molly Ringwald. American actor and playwright Woody Harrelson grew up in Lebanon, Ohio, and spent a summer working in the leather shop that once existed in Kings Island's Rivertown section. Legendary stuntman Evel Knievel performed his world record-breaking motorcycle jump over 14 Greyhound buses in the Kings Island parking lot in October 1975. Other famous former employees include Nick Lachey, who has apparently credited his ability to sing harmony with spending summers singing in a barbershop quartet at Kings Island while attending college, and of course, Carmen Electra, who began her entertainment career in 1990, dancing in It's Magic, one of the park's most popular shows of all time. In an average year, Kings Island spends more than $100,000 on replacing and fixing wheels for its rides. Kings Island keeps a spare parts inventory on hand worth more than $3 million. In an average year, guests go through 100 tons of hamburgers and 300 tons of French fries at the park. In addition, visitors go through about 3 million gallons of soft drinks, which is enough to fill the Royal Fountain 6 times. 3 million gallons, holy sh! For those who aren't aware, Kings Island's newest themed location, Area 72, is named in reference to the park's opening in 1972. Those big painted cylinders in and around Orion's theme area were part of the pedestals from the Royal Fountain removed during the renovations to International Street prior to the 2019 season. One of those cylinders has Radium XL200 painted on it, a reference to the Aero hypercoaster Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. The Rivertown station for Kings Island and Miami Valley Valley Railroad is called Los Santaville, which was the original name for Cincinnati, Ohio. The Beast got its name after the park's public relations manager at the time, Ruth Voss, overheard construction workers refer to building the ride as a beast of a project. The park's inverted coaster Banshee is actually the second Cedar Fair coaster to bear this name. Banshee was the original name for Mantis at Cedar Point, but then Cedar Fair CEO Dick Kinzel demanded to have the name changed after finding out the meaning of the word. Banshee is defined as a female spirit in Gaelic folklore whose appearance or wailing warns a family that one of them would soon die. So I guess I can kind of understand why you wouldn't want that associated with your new roller coaster. T-shirts, press kits, and other souvenirs, including the ride's colorful logo, had already been printed, but Kinzel insisted no matter what the cost, the ride was to be rebranded and that the name would never be used for a Cedar Fair attraction while he was still around. In 2014, just a few years after Kinzel retired, the company reused the name for Kings Island's B&M inverted coaster. In 1992, Canadian-American actor Jason Priestley, best known for portraying Brandon Walsh on the hit 90s television series Beverly Hills 90210, filmed a 20th anniversary TV special for Kings Island. The special aired on a local Cincinnati TV station and is every bit as great, terrible, and cringeworthy as other similar productions of the time.
Where are those guys?
The Grand Carousel is the oldest ride at Kings Island, purchased by Cincinnati's Coney Island in 1926 for $201,000. During a flood in 1937, some of the horses were swept down the Ohio River. Parts of the Grand Carousel were recovered from as far away as Memphis, Tennessee. In 1968, the attraction was completely restored, with all the horses repainted by one man, Bill Tull, over 7 months. Flight of Fear, Kings Island's premier ride's indoor launch coaster, and its clone at Kings Dominion were the first coasters worldwide to use a linear induction motor for their launch. Kings Island's former monorail system, which closed in 1992, is still running, though only for special events at an event center for an eccentric Fairfield, Ohio-based supermarket called Jungle Gyms. The monorail was purchased from Kings Island in 1998 for $1, plus the cost of relocation. For all you youngsters watching, the location of what is now Hank's Mexican Grill was a Bubba Gump shrimp during the Paramount era. That's why it looks like that, if you were wondering, which you probably weren't. 007, A License to Thrill, a motion simulator ride which played at the Paramount's Action FX Theater from 1998 until 2000 and was a favorite attraction of mine from that era, was written by Bruce Firestein, the screenwriter of the 1995 hit Bond film GoldenEye, and featured Judi Dench as M and Desmond Llewellyn as Q, reprising their roles from the films. When Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle was rethemed as Boo Blasters on Boo Hill in 2010, it was the first time since the park opened in 1972 that Scooby-Doo wasn't present in the park in some capacity. Kinda sad when you put it that way, isn't it? Some of the park's past marketing slogans include, "Come on, get happy, take me with you, do it all, we've got it all, let yourself go, where the magic of the movies meet the thrills of a lifetime. The only place thrills are Paramount. Choose your adventure. Memories that last a lifetime. The best in Hollywood entertainment, now playing. The fun and only. And most recently, it's amazing in here." Kings Island gets its name from Kings Mills, where the park is located, and Coney Island, the Cincinnati amusement park Kings Island was meant to replace. The name was chosen when TAFT Broadcasting, then owners of the park, held a public contest where people could submit their choices. The winner was 13-year-old Rebecca Richards, who was one of 45 people out of 45,000 entries who suggested the name Kings Island. Her name was drawn randomly from the others who made that suggestion, and her prize was a trip to Hollywood. Other names being considered were Twin Oaks and Kings Mills Park. Gary Wachs, who had become enamored with Tivoli Gardens after a trip to Europe in the 60s, wanted to use that name, but a TAFT executive shot that down. Son of Beast, the much-hyped but ill-fated 2000 roller coaster built by now-defunct Roller Coaster Corporation of America, was officially announced on May 11th, 1999, with the extremely stiff media event, by modern industry standards, featuring Montel Williams for some reason. Son of Beast is to this day the only wooden hypercoaster ever built, which, for those that don't know, is any complete circuit roller coaster with a height measuring at least 200 feet. Seeing how the whole experiment went, I don't think we'll see another for a long time, if ever. Prior to the 2001 season, Flight of Fear's trains featured over-the-shoulder restraints instead of lap bars. Former Kings Island PR rep and current social media marketing guy Don Helbig is a coaster enthusiast who holds the world record for most rides on the racer, a pursuit he began in 1981. The most recent count I found has him at just over 12,000 rides, but that was earlier this year, so I imagine it's probably a little higher now. He also holds the record for most consecutive rides on the coaster at 112. The Beast is the subject of a 1994 book by young adult horror author R.L. Stine, appropriately titled The Beast. In it, a boy named James and his cousin Ashley sneak through Kings Island after close, and while running from security guards, end up being sent on a ride through time on the Beast by a ghostly ride operator, and reappear in the fictional Firelight Park that was supposed to have stood on the site in the 1930s in this universe. Stine, who grew up in Columbus, Ohio, also released a sequel, The Beast 2, in 1995. Gary Walks wrote in the foreword to the 2021 book Kings Island: A Ride Through Time by Evan Ponstingle that he felt Paramount's ownership was, quote, detrimental to Kings Island, continuing on that their, quote, West Coast philosophy did not relate to the park's, quote, Midwestern culture. I'm not really sure what that last part is supposed to mean, and I don't think Paramount's West Coast philosophy was the biggest issue with that era in park history.
It's the ride, stupid. And that's exactly what it is. It's not profound, it's the ride, stupid. And better than that, it's the coasters.
But I think many of us probably agree with the main idea anyway. And by the way, speaking of Kings Island: A Ride Through Time, I was thinking about doing a book review or something along those lines for that book. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Let me know in the comments below. So, everyone, what did we learn? Anything? Nothing? Well, hopefully something. In any case, that's going to do it for us today. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications if you haven't already. And as always, a like rating is very much appreciated. Anyway, folks, that all clear means I'm up, and out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.